I believe there is some element of truth in that, because we were there and we put them there. And that is precisely why, since we put them there, we also have to fix the problem and get them out. Now, I will also tell you something else. We didn't put them there. It was Obasanjo that put them there. And he told us that we must put them there. Because I was there. And history has to be told the right way. Gone are the days where speculation, we won't talk. El-Rufai has written a book. Ask him to quickly go and launch that book. Then you will know the truth. We were called into a room and we were told by the president of that day, our leader, our Oga, the man we love, and we served and we risked everything for. We loved our country, we served our country, and we worked under him, and he was a great president. He did so many wonderful things. But I believe that it's fair to say that his choice of Yar'Adua was a bad choice. And we told him at the time. That was our crime. That's why Yar'Adua didn't like some of us. Because everything we told our leader got to Yar'Adua. Ribadu was at the meeting. El-Rufai was at the meeting. Batagara, the former Minister of Defense, was there. Akin Oshutokun was there. Ubasani, they're all alive. Frank Nweke. Even Ojo Madueke, who was the only person that found favor, and I know why, because he went back to go and tell tales about the whole thing and betrayed us. Okay? So when you say we are responsible, you don't know what we tried to do at the time. And you know what? Everything that was said at that meeting, when some of the people there were, it's not fair for me to say who said what, but there's some people who were saying, look, number one, he will come after everybody in this room, including you, Mr. President. He will try and jail us. Number two, his wife will be running the country, not him. Number three, nobody will be able to talk to him, including you, because he's not what you think. Number four, he is completely empty. He will not be able to run this country. He has never traveled. I was there when these things were being said. He has never traveled to any country except to Saudi Arabia, and I think they said Dubai. He's never been to the West, never been to America. He had never been to the southern part of the country for 20 years previous to the time that he started his presidential election. Is this the kind of man you want to give power to? And President Obasanjo insisted. In fact, he directed us to ensure that Umaru was returned as the PDP candidate. There was somebody, Odili had it in the bag. That's the truth. He had it in the bag. But Obasanjo said he wants Yar'Adua. When he now said he wanted a northerner, we said, okay, fine. There are other alternatives. Think of someone else. And he said we should also think. Everybody agreed on El-Rufai. So it was like between El-Rufai and Umaru. The governors, Buki Saraki, James Ibori, and a few others, including Andy Uba, and a few others in the villa, wanted Yar'Adua. Our group, comprising of people like the names I've already mentioned over that meeting, and I think maybe one or two others. It's fair for me to say maybe Obi Ezekwesili and Ngozi, Konjowela and others. I think probably, I'm very sensitive about mentioning names, but probably they were also looking more towards El-Rufai at that time. But I can categorically tell you that the rest of us wanted El-Rufai. Ribadu, myself, Oshitoku, all that group, we wanted El-Rufai. And we told our president. And it was a strict choice between the two. And he turned around and he said he wanted that he would go with the choice of those other people. And he turned his back on us. And the rest is history. So when you accuse us of it being our fault, I'll say fine, up to a certain extent you're right. But you don't know what we did to fight it from the inside, to save Nigerians from what we went through. And we suffered the consequences of it afterwards. They came after us with everything they've got. And they're still doing so till today, to a certain extent. We're paying that price. We did it for you. But nobody appreciated it. The Ibori that was behind the persecution of all of us is now facing problem himself. The Yar'Adua that said he would jail all of us, God took him away. The Saraki that was pushing the whole thing with Farida Waziri is now also answering questions. You see how God works. You see how God works. So, you see, for me, it's very important that we should always set the record straight. It's a legitimate assertion you made, but give me the opportunity to be able to tell you our own side of the story. I'm not here to defend President Obasanjo. I stopped doing that when I stopped being his spokesman, when he made me a minister. But he is my leader. I have tremendous admiration for him. I love him as I would love a father, because he has been like a father to me. He gave me the opportunity to serve my country. But he's not infallible. He makes mistakes. I've just told you one mistake he made. I've told you about his excellent record in public office. He's a great leader. He makes the heart glow, as somebody once said about Horatio Nelson, the Admiral Nelson of the British Navy, hundreds of years. He makes the heart glow. You could follow him into battle night and day. He's a great warrior, great leader. But I think it was a mistake. Yar'Adua was a mistake, and I think again, after Yar'Adua left, I think what's happening today also in our country can also be put down to some of the choices he made.
Yeah.
A number of times when Yar'Adua was in power, we met and I spoke with him about the great mistake that was made, and we encouraged him to speak out. If you remember, let's give President Obasanjo his due. When nobody was ready to speak out, when President Yar'Adua was ill in Saudi Arabia and the country was being run by a cabal of people signing documents and budgets in his name, including the present governor of Gombe State, who was accountant general at the time, forging the president's signature, passing budgets and so on and so forth. And the country was being, I called it corpsocracy at the time. I wrote an article about it because that's what it was. Yeah. The man was dying, and a group of people running the country and pretending that he was giving directives. Now, when that was going on, I approached President Obasanjo and I told him that, sir, I'm sorry, but you put us into this problem and you need to get us out. You need to speak out. And in fairness to Obasanjo, not just me, a lot of other people too, El-Rufai from abroad, a lot of people, spoke to him. And Obasanjo was the first person, if you remember, the trust lecture, where he got up and said the man should just go and resign. And then after that, everybody started following. But it's the same Obasanjo, all of you will be abusing. You see, Nigerians have short memories. You understand? He did it. He did that then, in fairness to him. Okay? And since then, of course, we've more or less all gone our separate ways. Our group has remained together, even though we may not all have been in the same, party. But we're all coming back together now. We may disagree on a few things. For example, I disagree with Nasir on the issue of Boko Haram in terms of how to deal with them. He's a great believer. I think I'm right in saying in dialogue and so on and so forth. I may be wrong, but I don't. But at least you can't agree on everything with your friend or brother. You understand? Obasanjo never discussed third term with some of us. I can tell you that today. Never, in fairness to him. But maybe he discussed it with others. I don't know. Yeah. I also know there was certainly a third term agenda, unlike some people are saying now. But he didn't discuss it with us because we opposed that. And again, we paid the price for it. This business of setting people up with money for bribes. What's the purpose? Is it Lao you wanted to discredit, or is it the committee report? What is the objective? That's the question that needs to be asked, assuming that is true. As terrible as it is, let them go and sort themselves out. My own issue for now, that 1.7 trillion. Who took it? How much did they take? Who did they give part of it to? Who was involved? And whether this government has the will, the political will, to do the right thing and to charge those that were involved in this mess. That is the issue. Or is it that some of the money went towards campaign? You can never tell. But if Nigerians allow this to go and take their eye off the ball and instead watch this issue of I gave bribe, I took bribe, I didn't take bribe, I didn't give bribe, or I was working for security and I wasn't, it's absolute rubbish. What are we going to do? Because if that report is swept under the carpet, it then means that the Nigerian people would have been treated with the greatest contempt. It would mean that they enjoy that contempt and they rank amongst some of the most dull people on this planet. And I don't think Nigerians are that dull. I pray they're not that dull. Because in the history of our country, and I'm a student of history, I love history, I don't think there has been ever such a monumental, evidence of corruption as what we're seeing over that. Well, in terms of the quantum of money, it's never happened. By the time the 2015 election comes, those that are in power do not feel that they will rig and get away with it. Because they won't. Not this time round. And I think they should take what Buhari said very, very seriously indeed. Let there be a free and fair election at that time. And let nobody feel cheated or wronged.